Did you see that there's the NATO, what's it called, Vilnius?
Yeah.
They discuss how well this war's not going.
That's right.
With, when we're supporting Russia. I mean Ukraine. I mean Russia. I mean Ukraine. I mean Iraq. Sorry, it is confusing. Here they are doing the NATO family photo. And it's such a festival of awkwardness, although I will say Joe Biden doesn't stand out as particularly inept.
He does pretty well, actually.
Yeah, he does. He sort of stays with the herd. But they should have, and I think in our country, we go, cheese! That's what we do in Britain. I don't know what you do in America. Like maybe you sort of choose. You say, what do you lot say in a photograph to sort of create a moment? Because a photograph is an acknowledgement of a unified place and moment in time. For this moment, we are NATO. Look at them standing here all shifty and feckless. Let's have a look at the footage. Rishi Sunak, that's our one. That geezer there next to Biden. Then there's this poor glum character. Are you surprised about how few of them you know who they are?
Well, yeah, but I tell you what, that stage is having to get bigger and bigger every year, isn't it?
Right, another one in NATO. You made a deal. You told us no more people. Come on, another person, you're in NATO. I don't even have a country. Come on. Illinois, Russia. Join us. Get involved. But I am from Russia. Now you can come in. Come and join us. You'll love this.
Your Excellencies, for the family photo, we would invite you to look in the central camera for 8 seconds.
His face, he touched his face. Nervous, liar. Did you see Trudeau?
Yeah, Trudeau was on the end.
Was he? He won't like that. He won't like that, Trudeau. He sees himself very much at the centre, doesn't he, Trudeau? Which do you recognise? Tell us in the chat who you recognise. Press the red button on screen. Let us know which ones you know.
Thank you.
Macron. Is that Macron?
Yeah,
He's annoyed.
Macron,
I'm annoyed by all of them, just by looking at him. Look at our one, trying too hard. Our one's Rishi Sunak, geezer, red tie at the front.
We should turn this into a game of Guess Who.
Guess who's in charge of what? Yeah, click, 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 click. You're going down, you're going down. Is your one senile? Yep. Down you go. Does your one have strong affiliations with the WEF? Click, 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 down they all go. Does yours sort of talk about liberal values and like how everyone should be tolerated, then censor basically everything that anyone says that's not convenient?
From Mattel. Guess Who? NATO, the ever-expanding game.
Oh, lovely. Hey, you can't play that near the Russian borders. Come on, who's to say? They'll like it. Just make them put up with it. Let's have a look at the rest of these nerds.
Very well.
No, they just all wander off. They all just wander off like a cluster of Bidens.
Well,
That's the
exactly.
real cluster bomb. This little cluster F word.
Got those cluster bombs to work out, haven't they? Got a few deals to do.
Right, how are we going to justify that a couple of years ago, or a year ago, in fact, we said that if Russia used cluster bombs, they would be criminals, and now we're going to sell Ukraine cluster bombs because it's necessary, and we've got no choice. How do they do that? Blinken says Ukraine would be defenseless without cluster bombs. I suppose the only way you can justify a cluster bomb is by saying that to not have cluster bombs would be worse than having. No matter how bad something is, if not having it will be worse, then you've almost got no choice to do it. This is the Orwellian neuro-linguistic programming hypnotic state that we're being invited to live in. Secretary of State Antony Blinken on Tuesday defended Biden administration's decision to arm Ukraine with widely banned cluster munitions and have a devastating impact on civilians. The US is providing Ukraine with cluster munitions in the form of 155mm artillery shells. Blinken said, without the cluster bombs, Ukraine would be defenseless because the US and NATO are running out of regular ammunition. Didn't you think about this when you get it? Right. I'll tell you what happened there. I'll tell you what you've done is you've gone to war with Russia. Russia who don't lose wars because Russia are dangerous, mad, hard people that just go on and on and on, as Napoleon found out, as Hitler found out, and as Ukraine. Are like, listen, of course it's been a criminal invasion. The slaughter of Ukrainian people in this ludicrous counter-offensive ought to be ended at once. I'm not a military expert, but I listen to people who are, like Jeffrey Sachs, who told me that this is what was going to happen, told us the reasons why it happened, infringement on former NATO territories. And while them dickwads are standing around at NATO NATO, blinking at the camera, staring for 8 seconds. People are dying at a rate of 1,000 a day.
Exactly that. And this is like a candid admission that this is not sustainable, that this war isn't sustainable. But then when you have Joe Biden saying, we'll keep backing you for as long as it takes, and then last month, Antony Blinken, the same person, dismissing calls for a ceasefire, saying the US will focus its efforts on arming Ukraine and not attempting to bring the war to a negotiated settlement, then you're like, well, hang on, what is it? Is it that we need to keep supplying these war criminal weaponry because they're running out of ammunition? Or is it we're just going to keep doing this for as long as it takes to annihilate everyone?
Do you remember when Trump did the CNN town hall that they immediately regretted doing? And the interviewer kept pushing him to say, who do you want to win? Who do you want to win? What? Is this a schoolyard scrap? Or is this a geopolitical conflict which could take us to a nuclear war? And what did Trump keep saying? Trump kept saying, I just want the war to stop. I want people to stop dying. I watched that clip again recently and I thought, wow, like a little while ago, if this was a verified figure of the liberal establishment, like if that was Obama saying that, you'd go, of course that's the issue. Of course that's the issue.
Well, they would have had a standing ovation as well.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I have another Nobel Peace Prize. Go and get that down there. Go and give the Yemen a good drubbing from the sky, for God's sake. It's outrageous. It's got out of control.
Stay free with Russell Brand. See it first on Rumble.